All right. Welcome, everybody, to the 75-day business challenge to get noticed and get clients. And you know what? It is now less than 60 days until the end of 2015. I can't even believe it. And our goal here is to really support you, the business owner, in maximizing your year end by giving you tips and strategies for building a steady stream of qualified clients by the end of this year. Does that sound good? All right.
Sounds good to me.
Me too. So if you haven't met us yet, my name is Kim Carpenter, and I'm accompanied by the lovely Lisa Engels. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And we are the founders of Wake Up and Change the World. We offer evolutionary marketing, business, and leadership training and consulting for a better tomorrow. And you can check us out at www.wakeupandchangetheworld.com. So we would love for you to share this blab with your community by clicking that tell a little bird button on whatever side of me he is, because I get flipped around in the video. It's on the sidebar there to the left. And also, if you like what we're doing here, please follow us and subscribe to this show. And when you follow us, you're going to get notified of all of our blabs, but most importantly, you're going to get notified about this challenge and every time we're meeting like today. So to follow us, all you need to do is click that little person icon next to my name, Kim's name, and you'll be following us. So just a little housekeeping note here. We love engagement. We want to engage with you, really and truly. So please comment in the chat stream. It makes it so much more fun for us and you and everybody else that's watching. And so what you can do in the comments right now is just say hi, say what your real name is, because sometimes your Twitter name isn't your real name, and let us know where you're joining us from and what type of business you have. So your name, where you're from, and what type of business you have. So I'm Kim, I'm in Austin, Texas, and Lisa is actually, where are you today, Lisa, in California?
Yeah, you can't tell because my background is always the same. Today I am in urban Oakland, California, Bay Area.
Awesome. Oakland, California. So if you want to subscribe to this challenge, I'm going to post a link in the chat there, and but I'll just tell you it right now in case you can't see the chat. It's bit.ly. So bit.ly, bit.ly/75-day challenge. And 75 is the number 75. bit.ly 75-day challenge. So we're going to open the seats inside this room after we've talked a little bit about the challenge and our topic for today and our action item for today. We're going to go for 30 minutes, and Lisa and I are going to talk and teach for about the first 15. Then we're going to open up the seats and join you, have you join us and come on in for the second half of the session. So Lisa, do you want to kick off our topic for today?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say hi to Michael out there. Thanks for putting your real name into the chat. It helps. And for some reason, I'm not able to send a message back because my little clicker isn't working.
Oh, hey, Michael. Michael's in Detroit, and he's a brand strategist and a graphic designer, which is, I just want to say, close to my heart. I spent 9 years in Manhattan working at graphic design, advertising, marketing agencies, and in that whole world of brand strategy and design. So I know it very well, Michael. So we really welcome you and hope you get a lot out of today's session.
Yeah, actually, that's a really great segue into what we're talking about today, which is building building your brand and your business around a human factor. So this whole challenge, the 75-day challenge to get noticed and get clients, we're trying to give you little bite-sized things to think about. And the first, just to recap what we've done in our first 4 sessions, first 4 meetings together, is really sort of the base work. Like, we wanted to get the commitment. What is it that you're committing to do over these next 75 days? And then we wanted you to look at really clarifying who your ideal audience is and getting really clear on your ideal client. And so we gave you some things around that. And although that seems to some of us, and I know, I guess maybe I'm speaking for myself, can seem sort of boring and like, okay, I know all this stuff. It is critically important And it's always good to come back to those things. But now I feel like we're getting into the juicy stuff, the stuff that's really fun, and will hopefully give you some new perspective on how to get noticed and get clients in this last stretch of the year. So again, we're wanting to focus on building your brand around a human factor. And this all comes down to something that Kim and I feel really passionate about, which is that despite the fact we're in this digital world, right? And for somehow, like, we should be more connected and be able to be more connected than ever before. That connection is literally at our fingertips. I can get connected on my phone. We can get connected on the computer. I mean, there's so many ways to connect globally now. And despite that, there is this feeling of being very disconnected. And to that point, there was a study done around Facebook and depression, and they found that Facebook users, people who used Facebook really often, were actually more depressed than other people. And this article and the study showed that the reason why people were depressed is because they were comparing themselves because of this thing called social comparison. So I find it really ironic that perhaps the biggest social network in the world that's supposed to connect us with our family and friends is really causing comparison instead of connection. And there has been this big disconnect in the digital space where we have been communicating primarily via text and images and pre-made videos. So there hasn't been live connection. So there's been this empty, like this void that has not been fulfilled, which is a natural human need to connect. People want to connect with you. They want to connect with me. They want to connect with Kim face-to-face, real time, and have real live engagement through conversations. And that's where this whole live stream and Blab and Google Hangouts, which is where I started, has really filled a huge piece for us. Kim, I'm going to pause for a second, let you hop in. Are we getting any, should I keep going, or got anything else to be aware of?
Yeah, well, someone's asking for a hug here. I know it's really hard, right? Like, we can give you virtual hugs, but it's really hard without seeing you in person. But I think that, outside of getting to meet your clients, it live, that this is the next best thing, and when you told me about that study, that just really blew me away, because but I can understand it. I think a lot of people use Facebook as a platform to really talk about the positive things that are happening in their lives, their successes, their wins, and not a lot of people talk about reality, which is things are challenging, and especially just in our daily lives. Like, stuff happens to all of us all the time, and stuff happens in our business that's really challenging too, especially if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur or solopreneur. It can be really lonely and it can be really challenging. So I think that the potential for social media and Facebook is authentic engagement and coming together to bridge that loneliness, but unfortunately not enough people are using it in that way.
Right. And so there's this piece about building a human factor around your business and your brand that there's been a void there, because when we have only had text and media, as in pre-recorded video or images, there hasn't been the ability to create that authentic connection. And authentic connection, I believe, really happens through conversations, not one-way conversations or asynchronous conversations, but real-time, face-to-face conversations. It's what we used to do 50, 100 years ago when it was brick and mortar businesses and people were, you built your business by the face-to-face connections that you had with people. And some people will say, yeah, but I still do phone and that works great. Or I do live webinars and that works great. But I'll tell you something, there's something about showing your face so that people can see who you are. There's something about people seeing the expressions on your face that creates a level of intimacy, a level of digital intimacy that we can have in this digital space that just has never been possible before, that is now bridging this gap and is making it possible for small businesses, for entrepreneurs, small solopreneurs, to actually compete at a level that big business, at one point, only big businesses were able to do out there, enterprise level businesses who had the money. Well, now these types of things are free for us. Blab is free. Google Hangouts are free. Even if you're using Skype or FaceTime just for one-on-one in your business, that's free. So the question really comes to, and that Kim and I want to pose to you, is how much, I think it would be two questions. Number one is, how connected do you really feel to your ideal audience, to your target audience out there? Like, how connected, and be honest, how connected are you really? Are you just posting link dumping and just posting about what's going on in your business? Or are you getting to know your ideal client, what their wants and what their needs are, and listening to them and empathizing with them? So number one, how connected do you feel? And number two is, what are you doing to create those authentic connections in your business right now? What type of strategies do you have in place to do these things? So I'm going to pause right there for a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah. Kim. So, I mean, these are really questions for you to ponder for yourself. But if you feel like sharing in the chat, feel free to do so. We're really here to create a supportive environment, and we're all learning and growing in this totally new interactive online world. This is new. Blab is in beta, so we are the pioneers, we're forging ahead together and kind of figuring out our way together. And I think it's phenomenal, Lisa, like you said before, if you think about 5 years ago, even the cost of doing a live stream video session with clients was, most small business people just couldn't afford that at all. And so now it's really possible. So I think Dave is leaving comment. Are you seeing the comments?
Yes, I can see. I've been distant, he's saying. He's answering the question, right, Dave? So I've been distant, but now with starting weekly blabs, I'm really starting to connect and not just gain followers, but fans that want to be friends. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. This idea of that there's not this agenda when you're doing the connecting of always having to be a sale. But this is about this concept that we call a return on engagement, that you're actually investing your time in creating authentic connections, and that down the road, the payoff will come out. But we're not talking like this is do it today and tomorrow you're going to have, it doesn't work like that.
6 years.
Yeah. It's just like, it's exactly the same as it works in real life. You don't just have a best friend or your partner, your husband or your wife on the first date. So it really works the same way. And we, Lisa and I do a ton of training and also consulting with our VIP clients around this and help them find ways to get out into this whole new world of marketing and authentically engage with people so that they can start attracting fans, not just followers, but fans and customers who buy. So, at the end of the day, you are running a business, right? So we want to engage with people. We want to build our brand and build our following
and we want people to take us up on what we have to offer, right? Because we know we have great things. So, so Lisa and I have developed many trainings about this, and one of which is available now. It's a free training, so we wanted to let you know how you can get your hands on that, but also wanted just to help you get started with that. Like, what are the ways? So maybe Lisa, you could share maybe a couple of the ways that people could engage, because they might be thinking, well, there's Blab, but then what else, you know?
Yeah. So you know, in the training, which maybe Kim, you can put the bit.ly link in there into the chat, that would help. But so I believe, and I'm a strong believer in live stream video, that you do connect with people. There's all types of excuses. You just got to get over those excuses, because live stream video is here to stay. The platforms will always change, I believe, because the technology is changing. But in terms of the actual modality, live stream video is about the easiest way. And one of the very first things you can begin to do is invite people to have a conversation with you. And like Dave said, he's been starting to do weekly blabs. I actually went to his yesterday. It was awesome. And he's, you know, you can do it for anything. Dave is a cancer coach, and he has very specified his niche in a way that really attracts the people who are dealing with the issues, either they're post-cancer or they're, you know, cancer survivors or dealing with it right now. And he's created the ability, Dave, hopefully you don't mind that I'm sharing how you're doing it, because I think it's beautiful, bringing people into a blab conversation, talking about, you know, what is your issue that you're dealing with right now. And I see Sold by Chella is here, and it looks like you're doing real estate, helping people get their dream houses, getting their perfect house. For instance, what I would do if I was a real estate agent is I would get into some live conversations and hear what are home buyers' biggest concerns right now, and talk to them about it, and invite people into the conversation, and not be the know-it-all, not be like, I know everything about your problem and I'm going to tell you what to do, but be curious, like, what is your problem in the first place? Because maybe it's different than what I think it is. And I'd love to hear what you think. What do you know? And bring this into a conversation and a dialogue, as opposed to a monologue, which is typical of how it's been, talking heads, just having monologues out there and pushing agendas. So,
yeah, and I think there can be a really nice balance between showcasing your expertise. I mean, obviously you are an expert. You, all of us here have training and certification and business experience. And we also want to, in order to have that engagement, we need to showcase that expertise, but then we need to be curious, and we need to pull people into dialogue. And Shella, I think that's how you pronounce your name, sorry. I think that that's definitely something that you also have to do when you're helping to sell someone a new home, is find out everything that they want, and you know what all their concerns are and what their dream is. You're really into fulfilling people's dreams, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, and speaking of that and inviting people into the conversation, I'm going to go ahead and open the seat right now, seats. So if anybody wants to come in and be a part of the conversation, we're inviting you into it.
Oh, and Dave had a really great point. You know, he said, I had a patient in Milan in their hospital bed that needed to socially connect, and Blab allowed that to happen. So this is the great thing. You know, you can connect with people all over the world. That's what this has opened up to us. So even if you're selling real estate in a certain place, those people are moving from different places, and you can connect with them and get to meet with them before they actually get to your physical location. Or if you're selling services, you know, like the graphic design branding services that we were talking about earlier, you can do that virtually, totally, completely virtually and globally, and you could open up your whole market just by using this type of interactive technology.
Absolutely. And there is something to be said, again, keep going back to the live and interactive, because when you're live, it's unscripted. There's just something that it's the dialogue piece of it that's so critical. And I'm seeing what, this is much better than text chat on Twitter. or Facebook, live video builds the relationship. Absolutely. So what the live video allows you to do is have conversations. Conversations build relationships. That's how relationships are built, is off of conversations. Conversations also allow you to build the trust factor, and people buy from people that they trust. So if you're willing to put in the time to have conversations, I know that I found a couple of years ago when I decided to do that, that it completely flipped my business around. I just said, okay, you know what? I need to have real conversations. And also at the core of who I am and who Kim is, as well as we love to have conversations. We love to communicate. We love to connect with people. So for those of us who are in industries that rely on those skills of connecting and communicating, which I would beg to say that every business is about relationships at the end, and the relationships that you build. So you can think of it not only like when you're out there building your brand, but as your customer acquisition comes in and you're building those relationships with your customers. Kim and I do it all the time. We always use Google Hangouts to have private conversations with our clients when we're doing our sessions with our clients. We're doing them on Google Hangouts. We're not doing them by phone anymore. You could do it on any platform again, but there is something really powerful about that.
We have another comment here that I think is a really great conversation point. And it said, love having casual conversations unscripted, just like you do at Starbucks, and informally over coffee, but then who buys? You know, and the truth is, at some point, the conversation does need to shift to the business, right? So we're not saying don't sell. We're not saying never have sales conversations, but we're saying be clear about the intention of the conversation. And sometimes, like Lisa says, often throw your agenda out the door. You know, sometimes that's the best strategy. And just making an initial contact with someone, throw your agenda out the door and sit down with a cup of coffee and you know, have a great conversation. And then at some point, if you see like, wow, this sounds like this is maybe moving into a conversation about possibly working together or possibly being you know, a joint venture partner or an affiliate, and just ask them about that. Like, does that sound that way to you too? And they might say, oh no, I'm not really interested or they might go, yeah, I think we should talk about that. So at that point, you could just agree that you're shifting focus so that it's more of a sales conversation, a strategy session where you're gathering information about that client. Or you could say, you know, if it's the end of your session, end of your coffee date, and you want to schedule a follow-up meeting, then do that. And I actually highly, highly recommend that for networking events where you're there, you're networking, you're meeting people. If there's interest, to just say, hey, I think, you know, don't spend all your time at a networking event talking in one deep conversation with one person. Schedule a follow-up session and be clear about the intention of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is this fine balance as you're building this human factor around your brand and your business, and you're using conversation to do that and real-time conversation to do that. There's a balance, and it requires a level of listening and intuiting and being present. That's the other thing I actually like about live stream video. And this is, I can't be multitasking because you'll know that I'm multitasking on the other end. And I think that happens a lot in our busy postmodern lives. So there is a balance there around, okay, presencing what's coming up for the other person, and knowing, as Kim, as you're saying, maybe this conversation wants to shift naturally into something, and there's a way in which you can have a really nice balance. And I will say that the only way to do that is practice. So I did not start out doing any of the live stream video and incorporating this and be perfect in the beginning. You just got to get out there and do it and say, okay, I'm going to commit to doing this. And I might bumble around a little bit at first. I'll bumble up with the technology. I might not know exactly what I'm going to say. I might not know. It feels weird at first to connect via me looking into a video camera, but you get used to it. And the more you practice it and the more you incorporate it into your business as an engagement strategy, the easier it gets and the more natural it feels. And then the technology just sort of seems to disappear because it becomes a natural thing to do.
Right. So I just want to acknowledge Irene and Diana and Spy Store who have joined us. Welcome. We're talking today about engagement and the value of engagement in your marketing mix and bringing that human factor into your marketing, and that some of the best ways to engage right now are what we're doing on live stream video, Blab, Periscope, Google Hangouts, and things like that. So we have a seat open. We'd love to invite anyone in who has a question about this, how to engage more with their ideal clients, how to really authentically connect with ideal clients so that you build those that team of fans, and or if you have anything to share.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your
Nice
name?
to meet you.
We've been calling you Chella. I'm just guessing that's your name, but
Well, it is my name. My name's Marcella.
Oh,
actually.
Marcella.
Marcella.
Nice to meet
Beautiful.
you.
Great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. So I've been sitting here listening to you guys, and I'm just curious, the 75-day challenge, is it, are you guys doing blabs every day?
We're doing blabs twice. So we meet twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. I think we forgot to say that in our intro. So every Monday and Thursday at 1 p.m. And then we actually have a checklist. What do we have? We have a journal, a checklist, and a manifesto for anybody who wants to subscribe to the challenge. And we know that people can't make it every single time, but we're holding it twice a week through the end of the year to get you to whatever maximize your end of year goals.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
this is the first time I've done a chat. I've watched a few. So right now I'm actually taking a real estate class, and one of the challenges is I have to make 100 contacts a week face-to-face. And so I was making phone calls, and then I was like, I'm going to check out Blab because I thought that would actually be a perfect way to network, actually.
absolutely. Like I 100% agree. Blab is a perfect platform for you, especially if, and this is something Kim and I are talking about over the course of the challenge, is if you have a good headline for the name of your blab so that you're then attracting your ideal audience to that, so that you can then have those conversations with your audience members and have those. Yeah.
And Sheila, do you have to have private one-on-one conversations in order to meet those 100 meetings, or can it be talking to a group of people like we're doing right now?
There's really no rules other than I have to either ask for a referral or just engage in real estate conversation, which isn't hard. I mean, everybody needs a place to live.
Yeah.
So it does come up in most conversations. The hardest thing is asking for referrals, because that's where I get most of my business. So, but
yeah. So that's the navigation through the authentic engagement and relationship marketing is, as Kim mentioned, whenever you're online and on platform and you're a business owner, I always say, like Kim said, you don't want to go in with an agenda, like be a little bit more loose around it. On the other hand, the paradox of it is we're business owners and we have to make a living and ask. You have to do the ask, but there's a way that you can do it that's so much more authentic than just pushy. And one of the ways, and Kim, you might have some ideas too, But if you're coming into something like a blab and you have to ask for a referral, that could just be part of your intro and your outro of the blab. Or you can be putting something in the chat, a little link like Kim has done, the link for our 75-day challenge. So it can be really weaved right into the conversation that you're already having without feeling weird.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Right.
To like not have it feel weird and icky and I have to ask for a referral, because it is uncomfortable when we have to do that, but we do have to do that. The other thing I was thinking about for you, Chella, is that since your business is really location specific, you want to find a way of inviting people in your local area into the blab. Because the thing about blab is you show up and, Lisa and I were laughing because the first couple blabs we had, both times we had like DJs from foreign countries showing up at our blab. It was like a guy from Morocco and a guy from Mexico City. And I was like, wow, it's fascinating, but we never know who's going to be here. So another alternative for you would be to do a Google Hangout where you set it up as an event, so you're like, maybe it's 3 times a week. You say, I'm chatting with people. Oh, where do you live, by the way?
I live in Arizona.
Okay, so I'm chatting with people in this town of Arizona and, or the surrounding area, and come on in, and I'm going to be telling you about what to look for when you're in the market for a house, or, you tell them a little bit about your expertise, what what that can be helpful to them, and then you can ask them for a referral or just if anyone needs help, and you can give a link on that sidebar to fill out an application to have a conversation with you, or set up a meeting with you or something like that.
So a good point is being made, and I want to talk about etiquette when it comes to when you're doing this whole live video thing, especially as you're starting, Marcella. So one of the comments is make a lot of comments in the chat. Other people will notice you and follow you, and then you can message them and have a conversation with them. Here's the thing about etiquette, and some of you have experienced this, I'm sure, where people just want to troll and come in to other people's blabs or hangouts and promote themselves. That's like number one etiquette, bad like etiquette. So it's not about you. You're showing up at someone else's party. So respect their party, make wonderful comments, and support the people that are hosting the party, right? And then when it's time for you to have your party, people will notice, oh, that Marcella girl, she's always making awesome comment. Like, I really like what she's doing. Now she's having a blab. I'm going to go over to her blab now. And that's how it works. And I think a lot of people get that mixed up, and they think, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to go on and I'm going to say, by the way, I do this and come over to my party over here. It's like, come on, like, don't do that. That's just not good etiquette. And it makes sense. Like, that's how you would be in real life too. Yeah. Right? So
that's funny that you said that, though, because I don't think most people realize that's what you're supposed to do.
No, I think you're right, and I think that there's codes of conduct online that this is why people are feeling disconnected, because these codes of conduct are like people aren't getting that there's a code of conduct here. And it's sort of like a natural thing, you would think, but I guess we gotta, it's a learning curve too. I just always learn by example, and the way that I did it was I was following other people and going, oh, okay, that's what they're doing, and I like what they're doing. That feels nice. And then I mimicked them, I modeled them, should say. So, yeah, I think.
So you're doing the right things, Chella. You're showing up, you're checking it out. You're seeing, how does this feel for you and for your business? And so good for you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for inviting me in. Like I said, this was my first time. I've watched a couple. I've never done a Google Hangout or anything like that. I don't even know what that is. The whole new technology it's beyond me. But I actually have some friends I've been talking about Blab, so I've been watching, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to call in. I have nothing to lose, so.
Awesome.
And you're on the forefront here. We are all pioneers. This live stream video is still very new. So you're in. You figured it out. It's very easy.
It's very easy.
So welcome.
Well, thank you.
And thank you
for having me. So now I have to figure out how to, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So you guys come on. You're on here twice a week at 1:00, and you just take any calls. I mean, what exactly is your goal at the end of it?
You can answer that, Kim.
So we are coaches and consultants for people who want to grow their business. And so this is kind of our give back. You know, we said we really want to support people to achieve whatever goal they set out for themselves for their business by the end of the year. So, and we're trying this out. You know, just like you, we're trying this platform out. We're seeing how it works for us. So we're coming in, we're giving value, we're giving coaching, and we're taking people's questions. We do it for 30 minutes. We've gone a little bit over today. And then we have the opportunity to tell you all about other things that we have. So like I'm going to post right now, we have a free video training that's available right now. It's just an 8-minute video training, but it's all about how you can do this, how you can really bring engagement into your business. And we just really want to serve. We want to show up and give and serve. And our hope is that people will see value in what we're giving. And if they want to go further with us and take this deeper, working with us one-on-one, or perhaps in some of our programs, that they'll contact us. So that really is the strategy.
Yeah. And to add to that, the other piece of it is about connecting. Like, we want to connect with you. We want to know. I'm curious, again, what is your struggle? I mean, you just said, well, I'm, online, I don't know any of this video stuff. That's information that Kim and I now have, because if you're having that struggle, or whatever your struggles are, or anybody else that comes in here, so are other people. They're just not coming in and voicing it. You're their voice. We want to listen. And it's that type of listening that allows us to serve our ideal clients even better than if we think we know everything that everybody wants. So
wonderful. Well, thank you. And I will pencil it in to come to your next chat.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back, and definitely, compile your questions that you're having about Hangouts or the technology or how to do it. We're totally here to help support you in that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
See you.
Bye, Marcella.
Bye.
All right. We have Carlo from Manila here. I just love the international audience. It's so fun.
I know. Yeah.
Many different people, different cultures from all over the world. We have Walter. I'm going to follow you, Walter. Yeah. So let's all follow each other and connect and get to know each other's businesses. That's the fun part of this whole thing.
Absolutely. So we're coming up. We actually went overtime here by about 10 minutes. So we'll respect your time. We're meeting again on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then if you're some other part of the world, sorry, I can't help you on all the time zones because the world's clock. Anyways, at the same time. Right. Kim, what else do we need to? So 75-day challenge, bit.ly/75-day challenge. If you want to be a part of this challenge where we give you a 75-day checklist of things to do over the next, till the end of the year to get to your commitment. We'll give you a daily journal. We'll also give you the Evolutionary Entrepreneur Manifesto. And then the other piece, for those of you that are following the challenge, is this little piece of homework for you to watch that video that we created for you. It gives you step-by-step 7 things that you can be integrating into your business right now to up the ante on the human factor, on building the human factor into your brand and your business. And that's bit.ly/return on engagement. And Kim just put both of those into the chat on the side. Kim, do you have any parting words to say to everybody?
I think that's it. It's been so great to have you all here. We hope you come back on Monday and continue with us through the end of the year. You know, let's get some serious stuff done for your business. Let's get you out there getting clients and getting noticed.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, we'll see you in our next session together. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.